So is there ever any point after having your son that you want to go back to being a young adult and doing what young adults do?
Yeah, so um I guess, like I said, with the whole Lifetime spiel and watching these movies and thinking you can move away to this, place. Originally, I'm from Boston. And so I decided to move to Boston after I had my son just to get away and not have to deal with the realities of whatever had happened here. And I moved to Boston. That didn't work out. The snow wasn't for me. My older sister was living in New York at the time with her husband. So then I moved to New York. This is all like in a year span of me still living in the delusional reality that I could just make this life. Um, and I moved to New York. That didn't work out. Before I ended up moving back here was right before my son turned 1, and my mom was like, hey, go down, get a place, get a car, and then, come back and get him. Like, I'll keep him for a little bit. And so I remember I came down here, and I'm a go-getter, thank God. And so literally maybe in like 2, 3 weeks, I got a place, I got a car, I was working. And so my son's birthday was coming up, and I, had planned to go up there and get him to bring him back down for his birthday. He was probably with my mom and my sister's mom for about maybe a month and a half, 2 months. And um a friend of mine had invited me to go out to the club, one of the same clubs that this guy lived at, might as well be.
Sounds like he lived at all of them, but
Right, right, right. And I just knew that like he wasn't still gonna be there. So I'm just thinking, okay, she begged me to go out. I'm like, hey, whatever, I'm gonna go out. So I went out, and he was still in his same standing VIP section. I mean, has had for years.
wow.
And so normally, you go, and if you ain't gonna be in VIP, you're not going. But this time I'm like, I'm not going to VIP because I just didn't want to be in close proximity. I really had wanted to leave at that time, but I didn't drive. And so, he ended up making his way down, and like came, like brushed by me and was like, where's my son? And I think like in that moment, my whole world like just shattered. Like it shattered because I just knew that there was no scenario in my mind that I would ever have to have a conversation with this man ever again in my life. And it just didn't work out that way. So my friend who was with me at the club that night, she was older than me. And not the same friend.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
gonna ask
yeah.
that.
Yeah, she was older than me, and she had ended up talking to him after the club, and I didn't know, but she had set up a meeting for us to meet at, like, I don't remember if it was like Wing House or something like that, like the next week after I had went and got my son. And so she took, called me. I was like, hey girl, we're gonna go to Wing House, we're gonna go eat. And I'm like, okay, let's go eat. So we go there, and I mean, in that moment, I felt like betrayed, but I know that that was not her intention. I know that she was just trying to
Bridge the gap.
facilitate, yeah. And so, no hard feelings to her. I get the motivation, and also probably seeing me like a young, struggling, teen parent, pretty much. And so, um, I went and sat with him. He had a couple of like his guy friends there, which I thought was very like immature for you to be this big grown man. And so he ended up like taking off my son's sock, and he was like, "Oh, this is my son because all of my kids have my feet." And I'm like, okay. But it did, confirm a thought in my mind because I'm like, my son has always had these ugly little feet.
And they didn't come for me.
I know, not my feet. Like, but honestly, I thank God. Like, I thank God even today, on the way here to this conversation, I just listened to some gospel music and some Miles Monroe in the car. And I thank God for the joy of the Lord. And I cannot not say that, because even now, like, I cried so much, and to be able to like laugh and, have joy, I know that's nothing but God. And so I thank God for that. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, he said, oh, this is my son. All my kids have my feet. And, then he said that he was going to help me take care of my son. And so even though I knew that I did not want my son to grow up to be anything like this man, and, you know, I didn't want to even have him be a part of my life, I still just in that moment, I'm like, okay, well, I could use some financial help. And so I think that day he must have given me like $1,200 or something. And that was that. Literally, I think we exchanged numbers, and he used to call me sometimes, like random times throughout the day, sometimes like late at night. He was in a relationship, and I was in a relationship as well at the time, had just gotten into a relationship. And and I'm telling him like, hey, like if you are gonna attempt to like be in my son's life, you need to let your girlfriend know that you have or potentially have a baby. We need to facilitate some type of paternity, responsibility, things like that. And he just kept sneaking around. And so I realized that based off of the little interaction and conversation we were having, which we had never had before, that he wanted to sleep with me.
Mm.
And so in that, I immediately, like immediately shut it down, because I just could not even attempt to open that door, relive the trauma. I couldn't accept the fact that I would remotely be your baby's mom, especially with, this. I don't know if it's a stigma or this misconception that happens. I don't know if it's in the black community or if it's in other communities, where when you are someone's baby's mother, it's like a right for them to have sex with you for the rest of your life, you
Mhm.
know?